Today on the MíraLA podcast, I am interviewing Mexican artist and storyteller Virginia Novello. She is one of the forces behind Las Tres Sisters, a feature film that focuses on sisterhood. She is also the creator of Orgasmica podcasts, focusing on women's truth, healing, and pleasure. She is an actress, a producer, a writer, and a tantra coach. So we're going to get into all of the spicy things today. Please welcome Virginia.
Oh, thank you so much for having me here. So excited.
I'm so excited. We've been planning this and then rescheduling and then trying to get together. But
it's meant to be when it's meant to be. Divine timing always.
And we got to meet earlier this year through my film festival, which I was absolutely so grateful to
Which is unbelievable, by the way. Like, I am just so very impressed by you and all the work that you do and the connections that you create. And just, it's very, very amazing to see a woman do so much and have such an impact. So thank you for doing all of that.
That means a lot. Thank you for my flowers. But today is about you and about your flowers and all the amazing work that you do aside from the Las Tres Sisters. So before we kind of transition into your individual story, I do kind of want the MíraLA podcast audience to know just a little bit more about the Las Tres Sisters feature film and the journey behind that. I know that we've kind of had different events where you got to share it, but I always am just so admired by the journey, the 9-year journey, by the way. So I'll kind of let you kind of just share just a little bit about the feature film and that journey and what it was like.
Absolutely. So yeah, like you said, it took us 9 years. It's 3 of us, Marta Mendez-Cross, Valeria Maldonado, and I. We wrote it, we produced it, and we're the source of it. We wrote it for around 6 years, during which, we pitched to so many people. There were some people that were like maybes, there were a lot of no's. And then there's definitely some yeses that ended up falling through because it was just not the right match, And it is a very long journey, nobody just wants to create something that takes that long. We don't think that way. We all want to, I'll write a movie and I'll make it in 2 years and it's just going to happen really quickly. And every year I thought that was going to be the case, right? But there is something magical, something that I have learned so much about something taking so long because it does grow with you. And so the project, the other day I found one of the first drafts and it's such a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Because the deeper we got into our lives, right? The deeper life got and the harder life got and some life circumstances that happened. We put everything in the movie. So the movie then, it's a comedy, but it's a very deep comedy with a lot of depth and a lot of sisterhood around it. Because of course, after we wrote for 7 years, we became very much sisters. And people are like, what is they ask us if it's a marriage, right? What is it advise about partnering? We all have the same therapist. We all are going through our own things and definitely can get in each other's nerves. But one of the things that unites us is the willingness to be there and want to be there and listen to each other and be there for each other no matter what. And so that movie, we finally got financing in 2021 and we shot it. And then it took us 2 years to do post. A lot of things happened in post as well. We ran out of money. Then we won a grant from Lalif and Amazon that allowed us to finish the film. We premiered in Rain Dance in London, which was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And then we ended up going to theaters. We had a theatrical run for I think a month in 185 theaters across the US. And it was really wild to see and experience that, right? Captain America and Paddington the Bear and then Us, Latino movies.
Latino independent,
movies that are 150 million and our movie is 1.5 million, it's but it's good quality and we really put a lot of effort in making a really good independent film, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think that that's how much it costs because the production value is higher. The story is really deep and it touched a lot of people. And that is the advantage of taking so long and, creating something and not just releasing something for the just, I need to release a feature so I can say that I have a feature, but really it's your presentation card of the world, of what you want to say, what is it that you're saying in this world. There's so much clips and social media bites,
Right.
that when you really say something, what do you really have to say?
Yeah.
Right. And you have to be behind that 100% in order to be able to last that long and to believe in the message and believe in what you're doing that. And so we did. And our distribution company is Myriad Pictures. So they've been amazing. So such good partnership. And here we are. Yeah. 9 years later.
And I think too, like kind of talking about like divine timing, we have always had immigration issues, obviously in the US, but I think like when it came out and just how heightened immigration issues were, and especially like with deportation, I think that like that also was like a parallel to like an ongoing issue. And I know that you're like a huge, advocate, and I don't know if you have like anything that you want to add to that of just like what, because it focuses on sisterhood and healing and all of those wounds, but also the deeper issues that we have with, the Latino American experience.
Yeah, it's so important. So one of the reasons that we wanted to do this movie is to showcase Mexico in a beautiful way. There's so many movies that showcase Latin America with the narcos, and I understand why that is exciting and interesting for some people. But as many movies that are about that, they should be to the other side of it, which is people are so kind. The country is amazing. We have our own flavors. Like people fall in love with Mexico so much all the time because it's a beautiful culture and we barely get to see that. And the filter that we put everything in Mexico is this yellow filter in film, right? It's like, it looks very deserty. It's like, but it's not like that. It's very full of color and full of mysticism and full of amazing things. So it was important. That was important. And of course we wrote this. There were certain scenes that we wrote in 2015 when things were happening in 2000, stuff like that was happening with immigration, which is the kids and the cages. And so we added some scenes that speak about it without hitting people in the head with it, but really making people think and feel what's going on and families being torn apart. And then the other side of that is that I truly believe, and I'm going to get a little woo-woo spiritual here, but I truly believe there was a moment in time that became really clear to me that when you create something, that something creates like this entity, this energy of it. And your job is not to control it anymore. Your job is to listen to that entity. What does that entity want? I call it entity, but it could be like a spiritual something, right? It just felt very like a grown something, energy. And, every time we tried to force it, like as an example, we had 4 different directors of this movie, and they kept falling through for a certain reason. And 4 weeks before we started shooting, another director fell through. And instead of going into like, oh no, this is the director that we wanted, because of course we had a lot of feelings about it, but it was also, it's like the movie's picking. It's choosing. The movie chose the director. The movie chose Cristo Fernandez because Cristo was not supposed to happen.
Wow.
And there was another actor. And last minute, Cristo kind of just came in, not only as an actor, but as an executive producer. And the movie was picking. And the same with the release, right? When we finished it, you think, oh, a year in post-production. And I just let go. And I was like, this movie is going to come out when this movie wants to come out. And it was every time it was like, okay, it's going to come out in October. And it was like, no, sorry guys, it's going to come out in February. And I had no attachments to it. I was like, you know what? That movie will come out when it came out. And of course, in February, we know what's happening in this country with like all the deportations and the way that deportations are being are happening, and with so much aggression and so much disdain for immigrants in general. And so then the movie came out, and I was like, it came out at the perfect timing because she has a voice. And the same, when is a movie coming out in other countries? I'm like, I don't know, when the movie wants to, when it will be the right timing, because this movie chooses when, because it carries a big message to it. And so I don't control it, and it will happen when it will happen. And she has a life of her own. And now my job is to make people aware that it exists.
Yeah.
And just keep following her orders. It's a she. I have
absolutely.
I have established.
And before we move on, where can everybody watch the film?
Thank you. Yes. So you can rent. Still, I think you can rent on Amazon or Apple, but we are also streaming on Stars.
That's amazing. Yeah. Like, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's just so amazing what you guys accomplished. So you've obviously moved through many creative lives, actress, writer, producer, and coach. looking back, what is the thread that's held everything together?
Ooh, what a question. What is the thread that's held everything together? I have this fire of creation.
Yeah.
I just have it. I was born with it. Nothing will extinguish it. Like, you know, people have tried. It's not going to happen. And I think the thread too is that my path is not like everybody's path. And I understood that a while back. So a lot of people around me, including my husband, he's an actor and he has been very successful at it. And he did the normal path of agent and manager and, you know, co-star, guest star, or series regular. And he did like studio films and all these things that were happening.
Right.
And I tried to go that route and then very much was like, that's not my path. I just knew that.
Yeah.
And I I stepped away from all my agents, commercial and theatrical before the movie came out. And people were like, you're insane. You're crazy. Like your movie's just about to come out. Like, I'm like, I just know that this is not my team. And like, you know, like the way that you know somebody's not your partner, it's like, why are you staying with a partner that is not your partner? What am I thinking that this is my path when it is not, you know? And my path is of creation. And the moment, it's so funny, the moment that I let go of my commercial agent and she was so graceful and I love her so much, like, 2 days later, a friend of mine called me and she's a director and she's like, oh, I want to book you for a commercial, a Toyota commercial. Wow. I was like, of course. I was like, this is, you know, because my path is connections with people. I love connecting with people.
Me too.
And I love creating with other people. So I'm of the service of, I know that my creativity is at the service of something bigger and I am at the service of whatever that is. And so whatever it is that it's guiding me, I follow that. I don't fit a mold. I never have. But now more than ever, I'm like, embrace that. I'm like, I thought it would make me weird and people would stay away from it, but I think it makes me more interesting. And so I just kind of embrace that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Has your work ever revealed something about yourself that you were not ready to face?
Look at you with all these deep questions. I need tequila for a little bit. Oh my God, all the time. All the time. Listen, I don't use art as therapy because I feel like therapy is a different thing. And like using art as therapy, but it can be very therapeutic as especially seeing my own shadows, you know, I'm very comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's something that I'm very grateful for. I feel like people they have lost their ability to be uncomfortable because we have something like the phone that we're uncomfortable, we grab and we don't know how to be uncomfortable anymore.
Distract ourselves.
Yeah, we just distract ourselves all the time. So, you know, when I am uncomfortable or when something falls off, like I'm like, oh, what does that say about me? You know, so like the revelation of like, it doesn't say anything about me, but I come up with my own shadows all the time, you know, what people think about you. And then I'm like, okay, like, what is it saying about me in this moment? Or if I'm judging somebody, I'm like, what is that saying about me? You know, or if like some envy comes along and I'm like, what does that mean about what I want and what I need? Instead of like acting out of just impulse, I really make it my own, but it's just in my life, right? In general. And then of course, when I'm writing, write what you know, I write a lot of what I know. And by writing what I know, I discover a lot of myself and I discover a lot of my, like the judgments that I have from people or of the world, of myself, and how do I embrace the flaws of the people and myself around. And so it's an always constant discovery because self-discovery and creativity are one, in my opinion.
How are you kind of staying motivated? How are you creating right now, especially as a Latina during these times?
Because what's happening in the world makes me have more fire. Instead of feeling hopeless, I go like, watch me roar. You know what I mean? Like in Katy Perry, you're gonna hear. I do not sing, so I apologize for that. But hell yeah, freak yes. I mean, I just want to be like, ugh. It just gets me in like such a fire, not only for Latinos, but as a woman, you know, an embodied woman, a woman. I was very shamed for a long time about my sexuality, about being a sexual woman in the world, about embracing my sexuality, how that was weaponized and put it against myself. And we're told that I was like either not wanting to be hired for because of the way I look and just embracing my own sexuality. And so you know, when somebody comments something about my body, you know, it's like either you're too fat or you're too this or like, you know, your boobs or whatever it is. I just, instead of letting it take it down, it like feeds the fire. You know, it's like they put a little bit more, another, what do you call it? Wood into the fire. Yeah. And I just go like, okay, well, thank you for that, because no, I'm going to go higher. And I'm just kind of like, it's just like this fire that I have of like, I don't know. It comes, I feel, from ancestry or from like, because when I am in that place, I'm Khaleesi. I want to fucking burn it all, you know, but like burn it all to create something better. And so that's my fire. I'm like, let's burn it all. Obviously, the system isn't working. And I'm not just speaking about the entertainment industry. I'm talking about the system of the world.
Yeah. Systems. Yeah.
The systems that we all are part of, and we don't even realize how we have been indoctrinated in them. Yeah. And so a lot of the realizations, when you start realizing as a woman how much of the things that you like and buy and create are based upon prying into your insecurities, you start getting really fucking pissed. And you start being like, really? Really? This is a fucking system? All right. And so I'm like, how do I become more? How do I become more sexual? How do I become more powerful? How do I become... But you know, that doesn't mean that I'm mean or a bitch or anything. And I'm very inclusive towards men, because I feel like men are also put down by the same system. Like, it's just in a different way, right? Like their emotions are being held against them, like they're not allowed to feel, and that must be really fucking horrible. And so I'm also like inclusive of men, of like, come on y'all, let's freaking join this. But it's a fire that I don't, you know, the more people tell me to shut up and be in the corner, or the more somebody is like, no, you can't do that, or you can't do that film, or you can't say that, I'm like, honey, you better fucking watch out.
Yeah, watch me.
Welcome to Orgasmica, a place where pleasure becomes medicine, where we speak without fear about sexuality, spirituality, and healing. I'm Virginia Novello, actress, producer, writer, tantric coach, and the creator of this space. This is a reminder that living an orgasmic life is not just about sex. Are you ready to live an orgasmic life? Because by pressing play, you already begun the journey.
I want to kind of transition into that healing and that power that you were talking about. From what I know, Tantra is the practice of awakening through embodiment, using the body, the energy, and the desire to have clearer pathways to that deeper consciousness and connection. How would you describe that Tantra, and if you can have your own definition of what Tantra is through your experience?
Yes, I definitely do have my own definitions. Well, a lot of people get really confused, and they think, first off, people think Tantra, Kama Sutra, right? Like that's what they think. And they only maybe just think about sex. Somebody said Sting, you know, Sting made it really popular back in the 90s because he used to practice it, or he still, I don't know. But good for him for talking about it. But what I really came to understand is that Tantra is through the breath and the movement, which are, and the sound, you awaken your senses. To create a connection with your body, with your sex, your heart, and your consciousness as the Trinity. So as sexual energy over here, and then the heart, which is a great alchemizer, and the consciousness, which is the connection to something beyond yourself. You can call God, consciousness, goddess, whatever you want to call. And so it's that Trinity. And so it's like through the body, because we're in this 3D body. We're in this body here right now.
The physical, right?
The physical, through that, through your energy. And as women, our vulva is the portal of life and death, how I call it. And it's the most powerful thing that we have, because sexual energy is creative energy.
Right.
It's the energy that creates life.
Yeah.
Hence is the energy that creates worlds, is the energy that creates anything. If you can create life, you can create out of that energy absolutely anything.
Yeah.
So we have it so separated. And as women, we have been so punished for connecting with that part. A lot of women were burned back in the day for being connected to that energy, because a woman that is connected to her sexuality is incredibly magnetic.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're doing like spells, although you can pussy spell somebody. But it is because like you become sovereign, you know, and my purpose is so every woman becomes sovereign on who they are. And what that means is you don't follow the trends of whatever, the trends of body or the trends of fashion or the trends, because you know what it's connected to you and how you want to embody that. It's your own freaking choice, you know, and how you want to use that sexual energy instead of like, oh my God, I'm horny. Let me find somebody to have sex with. It's like, oh my God, I'm horny. Because also I'm horny all the fucking time because life turns me on.
Yeah.
Right. It's like conversations turn me on. Like
Food
turns me on. Oh my God, yes. You know, like a tree turns me on, like the breeze, the ocean, nature, my husband, but also other humans, you know what I mean? Like scents and like somebody touching me or like a certain type of fabric touching me. It's like when you're really, really in your body, like it's really, really easy to find pleasure in a lot. Yeah. And so instead of being like, oh my God, I'm horny all the time, who am I going to release this energy to? Then you go, ooh, what am I going to create with this energy?
Well, I was going to ask, so like I kind of have this thing where when women are celibate or when people are celibate, but you know, the MíraLA podcast, we focus on women. So we're going to talk to the girlies. Yes. So like when women are kind of feeling that like horniness of life, you know, and it's like, oh, should I go like, you know, share this energy with someone? Or is it like that like celibacy energy of like, no, like this is your time to create something and create from that sexual energy?
Yes.
Like what's your kind of thought process around that?
Well, I think being celibate is beautiful and wonderful whenever you choose to. A lot of tantricas back in the day, part of the initiation of it is like you had to be many, many years celibate. So you understand your own sexual energy.
Wow.
So because you have to understand first. So a lot of couples come to me because I do sessions and one-on-one sessions. I do workshops and retreats and all these things. Yeah. And a lot of couples come to me is like, help us, right? And I'm like, they've been disconnected or they cannot really communicate anymore, or like their sexual life now, it's very different because they had a kid or whatever reason, circumstance it is. Right. And the first thing that I said is like, I cannot start with you guys together. I have to start with you separate because I need you to understand your own sexual energy first, right? It doesn't matter who you share it. And so by being celibate, you do understand it. But also, even when you're with a partner, you have a choice on how to use that energy. Like I can be really, really horny and I get to choose, and my husband is laying right next to me, but I still have a choice to be like, ooh, I'm going to use this energy to write instead, you know, because that's my sovereignty. And I choose whatever the fuck I want to do with my own sexual energy. Right. And then I can choose to also connect with him. But that doesn't mean penetration. Sometimes I don't want to get penetrated. Sometimes I want to be in my own energy, but I still want to feel connected through touch, to kissing, to orgasms, which by the way, Tantra says that there's 3,000 types of orgasms. Wow. And so we get to experience so much more when we stop focusing it's like our sexual education is so tiny and our visualization of sex is so small that we're losing so much of it by just focusing on like one or two types of orgasms. It's like, oh man, like the most powerful orgasm that I've ever had is by breathing and moving without doing anything. I wasn't touching myself. It was pure like energy that I was like creating with myself. And I was like doing this dance and like this full body orgasm. I was like, holy shit. And so that same energy, I'm like, okay, I also do it with money. You know, I'm like, okay, I started and I'm going into a deeper journey recently into healing a deeper way of my relationship with money. But, you know, there was a long time ago, I did this experiment where I had such anxiety of just opening my bank account. And I started being like, okay, every time I open my bank account, I have to have an orgasm.
Wow.
And so before I opened it, I started like touching myself, and when I felt like I was really close to coming, I will put click, and I then will have an orgasm as I was seeing the numbers. And I was like, okay, I needed to make the connection of pleasure and money.
Oh, interesting.
You know? And so, and I can put that into everything, you know? And now I don't think this is the only way of connecting through that or healing things. It's just a way that worked for me. And I'm just sharing it for whoever is resonating with it. But I'm zero dogmatic. Like, I don't think that there's only one path of anything. And so if this is resonating with you, amazing. And if it isn't, there's many other ways.
Yeah. And it's part of your healing, right? From what I'm gathering.
Yes.
So what is the moment that made you realize that your own healing wasn't just personal, because you are a coach and you help couples, but it was something you were meant to help other people and guide them through this process?
I really fought this really hard. I didn't want to. I really didn't. I did the Profesorado Tantrico. So I got certified, and I did 2.5 years, almost 3 years with a thesis. But I did it because I was really disconnected.
Yeah.
I had vulvodynia, which is like my vulva fully closed.
Oh.
And I was married, and it was really hard in our relationship.
Yeah.
And our relationship was dying, or it died. And I had to realize, oh my God, what are all these like blocks that I had? I used to be so free with my sexuality, especially with my partner. We were just the main connection that we have was sexual connection. And then when that went away, I was like, oh, what else? What's happening? So I went in to heal it myself, because I had to understand a lot of these things about me. And so then that's it. I actually didn't even want to get certified, which I had to finish a thesis. And my husband is like, just finish it. And I was like, why? I'm not teaching this, you know? He's like, just finish it. It's like, okay. So I finished the thesis. I got certified. And then I didn't even think about it. And then my friends were like, what are you doing? Like, we are seeing that like you're doing something. We can tell, we can see it in you. And I was like, oh yeah. And I was like going on walks with them as I was telling them like everything that I was learning.
Yeah.
And then a friend is like, how about like we just gather a group of us and then you like teach us what it was over the pandemic. So I did a group online with just my friends, and I was like, okay, like this is what it is. And like, I will like walk through the meditations and all these things. And then it started being like, somebody is like, no. You have my this friend, like you have to help her because she was going through all the stuff. And I was like, I don't know. And then I went to Mexico, and my sisters-in-law, both of them were like, we're doing circles. We're gathering all our friends, and like you are doing this. And I'm like, but I don't. And they're like, well, you were out. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of just let it I was like, okay, fine.
You let go.
Yes. But for a long time, I had it very separate because I still had so much resistance of combining the acting and the producing and all of that with the sexuality, because I had very bad experiences.
Yeah.
As combining these two. So I just...
Like the judgment,
but I also thought it was going to get weaponized because I had been. And like, I felt I was going to not be taking seriously as an actor if I'm doing this, or as a producer. And I also thought on the other side, I'm not going to be taking seriously as a guide or a teacher in this other area. If they find out that I'm in the entertainment industry, I just felt like those two were just very separated. And so my Sacred Alquimia account didn't even have my name. People they didn't have my face at first. I was like, I don't like it. I just sharing quotes.
UCG.
Yes. I like quotes, and that's all that I was sharing. So then they invited me to this really, really great podcast, Regalan Dudas, and it's I think the #1 podcast in Latin America. And so then it like started obviously like an avalanche of people like, I want to work with you and I want to do this. And I was like, I don't know at first. But I just was like, okay. And it was very separated. I mean, I honestly, I didn't even have my face in it. I had like just quotes and like it just not wanting to be a part of showing that. And then for my birthday, I did this beautiful mushroom ceremony, because I always do like a ceremony for my birthday with this amazing medicine man. And the message truly was like, just connect them both. They are kind of like the same energy. And what happened, it was like just this most beautiful thing, because it kind of just gave me of like, okay, like what is it that I'm standing standing for, right? Like, what is my lane? Because the world is, you can pick so many lanes and then you can burn out if you pick all the lanes, right? And so at first I'm like, yes, like, climate change and this and immigrants and that and that. And for sure, I still do within that. But I think my lane is women. The awakening of ourselves, the connection to our body, the sovereignty that has to come from a system that benefits from selling us stuff from our insecurities. So the system wants you to be so freaking insecure so then you can buy all the things around it so you're not insecure. And like to get out of the system, to change the system, then we have to become more us, right? And so it just became that. And so everything that I'm writing, everything that I'm creating, everything that I am writing in film, of television has to have like that through line of sexuality, but it's not just sex, but it is all those elements all put together.
The forms of sexuality.
Yes, correct.
So when you're guiding others, how do you help them reconnect to that pleasure and their truth while staying fully human in the middle of all of it?
Yes. Well, first off, being human, isn't that just wonderful and amazing? I do believe that. A lot of people, first, it's just a reminder that we came here to feel all of this, all the feelings, and that for some reason we have demonized some feelings and then put on the top other feelings. But we live in a world that is meant to be opposites, the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, and one of the things that I tell people is that you only have two options. Either you're open or you're closed. Really, there's no other option. And the more, yes, it's really hard to experience pain. It's really, really hard. But also when I'm in the middle of the pain, I let myself feel the pain because I know in the pain, the more pain that I am allowing myself to feel in my body and still feel safe while still feeling pain, I get to feel more pleasure. Because it's like the same valve, let's say, like the same space, right? Yeah. So I allow people to be human because that's what we came here to do and to be. Yeah. So resistance is part of it. Fear is part of it. And so when they come to me, I'm like, all of the emotions are equally as important and equally as valuable. And you get to feel the sadness and work. And I can give you the tools. So then you have tools to feel like you're not drowning and you feel safety in your sorrow, safety in your grief, that you can literally just, when I cry, I go on the floor like a little child and I let myself feel that pain. And then if I can have a little perspective, I go, wow, isn't this the wildest human experience? It's so crazy. It's amazing though. And like the same way that I'm like, because I get to feel this much pain, oh my God, how much pleasure can I have now? How much joy can I experience, right? Yeah. And so I guide people, first off, you have to have nervous system regulated. And a lot of people think that nervous system regulated is like but no. A lot of people that are are disassociated. So a nervous system regulated is that you react accordingly to what you're going through. So if I right now try to punch you and your reaction is like this, or you don't get mad, then your nervous system is not regulated because you're not reacting accordingly. Yeah. The problem is like we're so overstimulated that we're constantly like in a panic, like if a tiger is following us and then the cortisol levels go up and it fucks up all your hormones and your systems. Yeah. So it has a lot to do with your sexuality, the way you create your nervous system regulation. So I regulate your nervous system. I bring you back into your body once you feel safe in a regulator. Because your nervous system, if you don't have a regulator, there's no way that you can come back into your body because your body doesn't feel safe. And so then you can't have those. Yeah. So then I bring you back into your body with tools like breathing, moving, meditations, different tools. I'll bring you very, very closely into connection with your vulva so that you talk to her, that you see her every day. I bring you in connection to your body so that you get naked in the mirror and you look at yourself and that you don't have all these negative thoughts, because who are those thoughts coming from? They're not yours. They're the world, society's people, your parents, your whatever, all these people, but they're not yours. Yeah. And then I bring the awareness of like, how can then you bring more into life and like really feel your feelings and feel your pleasure and a very connection security thing. My main focus with any of my clients is that they become their own guide. I call myself guide. I'm like a tantric guide, but my whole thing is like, I will guide you back into your body. So then your body can be your guide. Because I cannot be your guide. I'm not in your body. I don't know your experiences, but you can. You have all of this connection, sex, love, and consciousness. And here is like the heart is such an alchemizer. And that's where most of the key is of the world. It's like we all want to shut this down because it's painful. But by doing this, it alchemizes so much. It alchemizes your pain. It alchemizes your fear. It alchemizes so much. And we're so just scared. Like, I love everybody. Fuck. Like, you have a one-night stand, but you fall in love with that person just one day and you will never see them again. You end up being really full instead of really empty because you alchemize their energy and your energy and the world's energy, right? And so, and then from there to getting it up into a consciousness. So you have a conscious guide that the guide comes from somewhere else connected to your body. And then you follow through that and you live a life that it's yours based on your sexuality, that you explore your sexuality however you want to explore it. And then you become a sovereign woman powered through and powered by your sexual energy.
Yeah. I mention him a lot in my podcast. I don't know if you ever heard of Danny Morel.
No.
He's this Latino kind of spiritual coach as well. He is a avid user of ayahuasca.
Yes.
He's used it a lot earlier in his like healing journey, not so much now. It's more like psilocybin. But I went to his retreat and he said something to me that like I will just take with me forever. How you show up in the bedroom, how you show up in sex is how you show up in life.
I say that all the time. I say that all the time. Got me on that too. Look at that. I didn't even know who he was. But yes, I say what you do in the bedroom, you do in life. That's what I say all the time. And people get really confused. It's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, see how you are. Like how much, especially as a woman, how much do you let yourself received? Like how much do you let pleasure received? Do you have to be always in control? Like, what does that mean in the bedroom? But also, what does that mean in your life? It's like a woman that cannot take a compliment, like fully take a compliment, that I call the ping pong compliments. It's like, you're beautiful. No, you are beautiful. No, you are great. No, you are great. It's like, receive the freaking compliment. And I know that a woman cannot receive a compliment. I know she's not fully receiving pleasure in the bedroom. I know this. Like, because we have, for some reason, disconnected the sex life to the rest of our lives when it's literally the same. It's the same energy. It's the same thing. Why have we like disconnected this part because it's like taboo or in the shadows? But it is not. It's who we are. It's why we're here in the first place, So like, how are we? Why did we disconnect it from that energy if that is the reason why we exist?
Feminine energy carries many expectations and misconceptions. How do you inhabit yours freely? And how does it show up in your creativity, your work, and your relationships?
Yes, I think feminine energy, the way a lot of people, it became like a really popular word, it's like the feminine and the energy, which is yes, but also let's make sure that we're not describing feminine energy according to a patriarchal lens. Like it's very, sometimes I hear people describing the way it is, and it is very, the system still ingrained in it. Because we still are in the system, right? So let's make sure that we listen to how we're describing these energies. For me, feminine energy and masculine energy, it's like the light and the shadow. It's energies that we all have, no matter what gender you are.
Right.
You have that energy. It is the dance or the making love of these energies that create a very balanced system inside of yourself. In system, I mean all your organs, and I mean like all of the things, right? We're meant to do like penetration, like penetrate energy, like doing things. And we're also meant to retrieve and relax and receive.
Right.
Both genders, all genders, except men have a 24-hour hormone cycle and we have a 4-week hormone cycle. And the world is run by men and it's run by their cycle. But when women start taking control and not control into like, let's say a CEO, but the CEO woman still running in the same way as the man CEO, that is not running in the way that we're supposed to, right? And so a lot of the feminine, because also the feminine is there's the toxic traits of the feminine and the sacred traits of the feminine, as well as the masculine, right? We both have both. So a sacred trait would be somebody that knows how to relax, somebody that knows how to receive, somebody that knows how to feel their emotions fully, that is not disconnected from them. And that means rage. Because like a lot of women is like, oh, feminine, like here, dancing. No. Kali is a goddess, right? And Kali is the goddess of death. And you probably have seen her. She's like the one with like, she's blue and she's like, have you seen her? She's over here.
I hope you did that to the cat.
But I'll do it again. She's fucking phenomenal. I love her because people are like, oh, no, like those emotions. I'm like, no, rage is also part of the feminine. Like, it's like how women like rise the fuck up, with all of that, right? And so it is so many things. And so for me, when I lean into my feminine is because I created my life now according to my own internal system. So I'm ovulating right now. So I have like, I'm meeting here and like a podcast there and because that's the energy. But you better believe that when I am like in my period, I definitely retrieve. I listen a lot. I like breathe a lot. I do the things that I have to do because that is the world, but I don't do them with the same energy. I don't intend to. I don't run myself to death because that is just not empowering for my body or myself. That's why women are burnout. That's the reason. And so knowing your cycle and literally saying to the status quo, like, I don't fucking think so. Including my relationship with my husband, right? He has the calendar of when I'm ovulating, when I'm not, and when I'm on my period, and he knows when to approach me how. If I am in my period, he knows he's not gonna go like, hey, baby, I'm ready to fuck it. I'm like, good for fucking you. Like, go in the corner. I don't want to fucking see you. Like, so now he's like, well, let me see where she's at. I was like, and he can know. Aww. It's also not my job fully to tell you where I am at because you live with me. So, figure it out too. There's the calendar, share the calendar. So it's like, we're in this together. I know his moods as well, like that's a partnership.
Yes.
And so really, really connecting to that part of like receiving, and even in the small things, I would say to women is like, how much are you not or you are receiving? Because that is a big problem of women right now. From compliments to like, if somebody wants to buy you a coffee, it's like, hey, like, do you want a coffee? No, I'll pay. Or like, just receive the freaking coffee. Like, let your nervous system receive and indicate to your nervous system that it is safe to receive. And somebody's not going to hold that on you, or like, you have to then give 3 times more because somebody gave you something. And all of a sudden you're like, well, okay, but like now can I like, just receive, sit with it. And like that will make such a big difference. It's a tiny thing. But when you know how to receive in this world, golly, man, like so many open doors is going to be, and that is part of the feminine energy.
Yes. What was missing in conversations around sexuality or even spirituality that made you create your podcast, Orgasmica?
The conversations were missing in Spanish a lot, which is why the title is Orgasmica en Español. And it started like the first, I think, 20-something episodes were only, or 40 episodes, I can't remember, were only in Spanish. Like the beginning of the podcast was only in Spanish. I started doing it bilingual because I do live here and I do want to talk to a lot of people that only speak English. And so I'm like, okay, I'll include you guys. But the reason why I started the podcast is because I get so shadow banned on Instagram and TikTok for saying these words, and for saying these things. I get punished all the time. And so I was like, I need a space where we can say clitoris, orgasmo, vulva, I say it around the table at my house and my mom wants to have a heart attack almost. Like, I mean, you have to see my parents when I told them the title of my podcast.
Oh, I can
They wanted to die. They like, my brother has a podcast and they listen to every podcast of all the members of the family except mine. And I was like, do you tell people that's like, I can't tell people that's you have a podcast because of the name, change the name. And I'm like, I'm not going to change the name. Why is the word orgasm, orgasmica, or vulva such a curse word? Like, when did we start like doing that, to ourselves? And so taking the taboo out of the shadows on a sacred way. Because also what was missing for a lot of sexologists that I do follow and I appreciate their work so much, but I think sometimes what it's missing is, one, you don't have to understand it here. People is like, tell me the books, tell me the things. I'm like, you experience it, because sexuality is experience. It's like if I tell you, it's like, let me describe to you an orgasm. Would you really truly understand it? Or you had to feel it in order to understand it, right? So the same, let me explain to you what thousands of orgasms you can have by the connection of your body and your energy. And you're like, what can I read? I'm like, no. You experience it first and then you read it, right? And so it was missing the connection of body. Like you can understand why you have trauma, sexual traumas, like what the religion did to you, what your culture did to you when it came down to your sexuality. And that's great. But then it has to go deeper. It has to go into the body. It has to feel into your body. It has to be experimental and experiential in order to fully get that. And then, the Trinity, which is like, yes, sex. And a lot of sex podcasts out there are just focused on the act of sex.
Right, the physical.
The physical. And I think what's missing is the rest of the other things that make a sex life even more so amazing and deep and beyond what you think sex can be, which is the other side. So I thought I was missing even more. And so yeah, having these conversations.
Has there been a guest or a conversation that completely shifted your perspective or maybe taught you something unexpected?
All my guests teach me something. I'm a deeply curious woman. I let my curiosity lead a lot of what I do. Like even in the podcast, I don't have questions and I don't research a lot of the people that I come. I'm really curious. So they say something and I'll go with what they're saying, and there's some people that come to the podcast. It's like, somebody said like, this is the title that I would like for you to have in the podcast. I was like, we'll see what we talk about. Like I don't have a thing. I don't have questions. Like I'll see what excites me in that moment. And so I'm always learning something because curiosity, right? And I always ask everybody at the end, what is an orgasmic life to you? Yeah. And everybody has different answers. And I always learn from everybody's answers.
Can I ask you that question?
What's an orgasmic life to me? Yes. An orgasmic life to me is a life that is fully aligned and connected to the body, the sexual energy. It's a life lived in pleasure, in joy. It's a life lived allowing all the human emotions, the pain. It's a life with an open heart and an open consciousness.
And an open vulva.
Guidance and a very open vulva. It's a life of turn on with everything that you can follow your turn on. Follow your horniness into life. Your horniness is your guide. What turns you on is where you should go to. And it's a life of creation.
That's beautiful. I love how you were closing your eyes and really tapping in, because that just shows me like how connected you are to your body. Because when you are connected to yourself, you kind of separate yourself from the physical. Yeah. So that was really cool to see. So when conversations go deep into grief, desire, or memory, how do you care for your own energy while staying present?
I think I definitely do an energy clearing myself, and through the breath and the movement, and I have my own tools for that. One of the most, like I will say, charged places that I go and teach this is a prison in Mexico. So I go to the women's prison in Mexico, and I love them so much. I know it's weird to say that. I understand. It can be a little bit
controversial
saying that. I love the women in prison, but they are just really, really just seeing them as humans, And so at first I was like, oh shit, like this is a lot of energy and this is a lot of their energy. And they've been there for like 15 years, 20 years. I don't fucking know. Yeah. It's really wild. And their stories are really intense of what they have experienced in the world and seen in the world that I cannot even imagine. And when they shared me those stories, it's like really wow, but I'm there to hold space for them and for them to cry and scream and do whatever it is that they need to do. And now they trust me. But before I was like, scream. And they were like that's their scream. I was like, you guys, what the fuck is happening? Like scream, and now they trust me. And so now they scream their hands off. But then I go back to alchemizing, which is the heart. I also do temazcales. I do a lot of temazcales. I have in Mexico, I do a lot of temazcales, which is definitely for me very cleansing. But in the moment, I thought I would feel really heavy after holding space for them. And I was like, oh, if I just love them, I feel like it just alchemizes that energy and I'm not carrying it with me. And I feel the same way with every person that I meet. Like they tell me a story and it can be really hard, but it is my choice to alchemize it. Like I feel it, I let you in, and then I return it to you in the form of love. And I don't keep it. It's not mine to keep. And it's not mine to, a lot of people, it's like, I'm empathetic, I keep it all. It's your choice to keep it. You can release it. You can let it go. You can love somebody and let it go. It's this idea of attachment that we have of like, you told me a story. Okay, now I'm the gatekeeper or owner of this story, of this energy, right? It's like, or, of the person, I love you. Hence, like now you're mine, but love comes without attachment, and love for somebody means I listen to you and I let you have your story back. And I let you have your pain back. It is not my pain to carry. I will listen to you. And by loving you and being open and being affected by what you're saying, I'm being affected. Like I can cry and these women can tell me stories that, it affects me. But also I go, I'm so sorry. I love you. And I'm sorry this happened. And then I hopefully give you your story with more love attached to it. But it's not mine to keep.
Ugh, that's hard work that you're doing, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Wow, this conversation just was like so empowering and inspiring, and I think motivating for like everyone listening. So before we end today's episode, I do want to ask you 2 more questions.
Tell me.
How has your understanding of power shifted how you move through your art, through your healing, and through your teaching, beyond what people see?
Oh my God. Well, that question just made me horny. So enough. And now I'm lit.
I have that aspect.
Oh my God. Because power is on the fucking inside. It just is. And like when you realize how powerful your energy is, and that when somebody wants to take it away, it's up to you whether they do it or not, and it's like this stupid, like story that we have told ourselves of like, gatekeepers of all sorts, of my career, my creativity, of my body, of how I show up to the world. It is like, I'm the only gatekeeper. I am the only fucking gatekeeper. Okay. Like, yes, I need somebody to give me money to create this or like that or the other, but they're not the gatekeepers. They will benefit from my fucking story. You know what I mean? It's like the reason why I don't have an agent right now is because I'm not here to be like, do you want to be my agent? Like, please, it's like somebody will be like, I see your vision.
Yeah.
And I'm open to that. I'm not like against it. A manager, whoever, I see your vision. I want to come with you. I'm like, great, fucking awesome. Let's fucking go. But I'm not here to beg anyone to allow me to be who I am in this world. The permission is to give it to yourself first. And when I live from that space of like, how do I want to live my day today? Yeah. Somebody can like be angry at me. I have the decision whether that affects me and how much it affects me, right? And it can affect me. And I'm the first person who can tell you, do not bypass your feelings. Do not do it. This whole thing of like peace and love and we are all just so very fucking happy. Bypassing your feelings will hurt the shit out of you. And it will hurt your body and it will hurt your creativity because your creativity lives within your emotions. You are here human living a creative life because you have emotions. So then you feel an emotions. I let somebody affect me. I feel the emotion, but then I decide what to do with that. I'm like, you know what? You pissed me so much. Then now I'm going to go write another page of my book. You know what I mean? I will feel angry and I will transform that anger into something, but it is my choice. If my husband decided tomorrow to divorce me, I'd be like, it's really painful. I will be really heartbroken. But at the end of the day, I decide what do I make of that story. And he has been one of my biggest teachers because he's an addict. He's not in active addiction in the moment. But when we married, he was 11 years sober. And the moment after we married, like a year into it, he relapsed. And I could have become, for all the things that I've been through with that man and in life, I could have become a victim so easy.
Right.
Like, oh no, poor me. He's the addict. He's the perpetrator. He's like, and one of the things that I have decided not to be is a victim of life. It's like I get to choose. And yes, I have been like abused by some people and like mistreated by some others, and doors got closed, and I've been broke as fuck, and like so many things have happened, but I decide how to approach that. And that is the power.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. One last question for you. When you strip away your titles and your expectations of yourself, what is the impact that you want your work to leave in this world?
I want anybody or everybody that comes across me to want to get connected to themselves. It's truly a domino effect. And so by me living in my pleasure and my sexuality and my connection, I want you to do the same thing and inspire you to do the same thing. And then that you do it. And then you are so turned on, so power, so in your body, so beautifully human, that then you inspired somebody else to do the same. I want people to be left with how I made them feel. Like, I made you feel horny and excited and great and awesome and joyful and all the feelings. Maybe I made you feel angry, but you're also like, okay, I'm also into it. Like, I want you to remember how you feel around me, so then you can take that for yourself and then make you that person, that guide, so then you can make other people feel the same way.
So beautiful. Now, everyone, go grab your vibrators. Thank you, Virginia, so much.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun. Thank you.